If you're struggling with inconsistent ball striking, more likely than not, this one thing will be ruining everything for you. Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to the channel. New here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Today we're going to talk about ball striking and specifically ball positioning in our stance. So first, let's talk about what is ball position if you're new to golf. If I were to take this alignment stick, place it just on the inside of this ball straight back and straddle the line, the ball position is where in your stance the ball is placed for when you go and hit a shot. Now, why is this important? Well, if I were to take two different clubs in my bag, a wedge and my 4-iron, as you can see, they are different lengths. And for most people, 60-degree through their driver get progressively longer. Because of that, you need to change your ball position. If I were to take a swing with the ball positioned in the center of my stance with a wedge, as you can see, this club is traveling down pretty much right at the golf ball and then starts traveling up. But if I were to do the same thing with a 4-iron, which is much longer, now all of a sudden this club is still traveling down till much further up in my stance. If I were swinging these two together, I was coming down, the wedge bottoms out first, then the 4-iron bottoms out after because it's longer. Now, why is this important in our golf swing? Well, as we are coming down in our swing, the club face is still open. It's open and we're using the release to get this club squared at impact. If you have the incorrect ball position, it's going to mess up your entire ball flight. If you have the ball too far back for the club that you're using, this club is still open. You're going to be coming super steep at the ball, chunking in the ground, leaving the face open, missing out to the right. Same thing if you were to play a wedge way off your front heel. You're going to be closing the club face, leaning back, hitting this on your upswing, most likely thinning it, not consistent whatsoever. Let me show you something cool as well. I have my lob wedge here, and let me grab my 8-iron. For the clubs that I have, which are Voda's combo length irons, my lob wedge through 8-iron are the same exact length. As you can see, these two are the same exact length. For most people, when their wedges get progressively longer, you have to change your setup position. Whereas for me, I can keep the same exact ball position and setup for all of my scoring clubs in my bag. I think this is a huge advantage because of the fact that these are the clubs you're going to be hitting into greens with and scoring when you're out on the golf course. So having a consistent setup with these clubs is more consistent ball striking, more consistent launch, more consistent spin, and your dispersion is going to narrow up naturally because it's the same thing with all these clubs. So if you don't know anything about Voda, I highly recommend you go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description to them talking about their combo length irons and the different advantages that they offer. But back to ball position for 99% of you. For your wedges, I would say 60-degree through pitching wedge, maybe 9-iron. I like pretty smack dab in the center. Nothing is further back than center unless you're chipping around the green trying to hit a low shot. But everything is pretty much smack dab in the center. Now, I like to think about it as ball increments. So if I were to take a few balls here and line them up progressively more towards my front heel, half a ball is in between these two. Full ball, you move a full ball over. From 8-iron through a 7-iron, my ball position is going to shift maybe a half to 3/4 of a ball further forward in my stance. So as you can see, what was center is now a little bit further forward. Now as we get into our longer irons, we shift another half a ball over here. And once we get to our 3-wood and hybrids, I usually keep it around this area, and then driver is closer to the front half of this front ball off our front heel. More likely than not, this allows for the most consistent setup and low points for every single one of your clubs to contact correctly with the square face. So if you're out in the range, what I recommend is you set up here, put an alignment stick down on the ground like I have like this. It's going to just give you a great visual of where the ball is in your stance. Sometimes you think it's forward when it's not, or vice versa. Having this here is a clear illustration of where it is in your stance. So grab a few different clubs, wedges, mid-irons, long irons, and experiment with ball positions. Now, I just gave a very general overview of what usually works for others. Unless you have Voda's combo length and you can just keep it the same, which makes it a lot easier. Experiment with what works best for you. But make sure when you go out into the course, you remember about ball position. It's a super easy thing to forget. I forget it a ton on the course. You know, you grab a 6-5 iron, you just put it down, you don't really think about where it is in your stance. The ball misses left or right. And more likely than not, it could be based on your ball position. So try to be cognizant of it when you get out onto the course. But practice with this stick on the range. That way, you know exactly where it is for when you're practicing. based on contact, based on direction. You can then take this stick, you can adjust based on what works best for you for the different clubs in your bag. But do this with all the clubs in your bag, kind of dial in certain ball positions for the clubs that you have. Like I said, my combo length irons make it a lot easier, at least for my scoring clubs. They do make a same length version as well, which you could pretty much just keep everything the same. But once you get up to a driver especially, make sure you're positioned effectively and in the same position every single time, because that's important. We want repeatability in the golf swing. So go give this a try. Ball position is super, super important in the golf swing. Check out Avoda irons if you haven't already. They were the irons that won the US Open last year, so it's pretty neat. Go check those out. And if you hadn't already, please hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Free golf tips, easy advice that you can implement directly into your game. That's all I have for today. See you guys out here real soon.